Harding and the attack on Nancy Kerrigan. Today, Harding's ex-husband Jeff Gillooly turned himself in to the FBI. He has been charged with conspiracy to assault Nancy Kerrigan. Meanwhile, mum's the word with Tonya Harding. Her bodyguard, Shawn Eckhart, told police that Harding made 2 phone calls to find out Kerrigan's practice schedule and later devised an alibi to explain the calls.
I'm not supposed to talk to anybody, but I just wanted to tell everybody that I'm doing okay.
Meanwhile, figure skating officials will vote next week on whether to keep Tonya Harding on the U.S. Olympic team or not. The
center of the scandal on ice is out of hiding tonight. For the first time since the Nancy Kerrigan attack, she skated out in public. Afterwards, she agreed to talk to the media. Tonya Harding saying that she has never considered pulling out of the Olympics, and she wants her fans to keep the faith.
Skating is the only message I can say is just keep believing in me, and thanks for all your support. And I'm going to do the best that I can for everybody. You know, I do it for myself, but it's not just for me, it's for the whole country, and it's for Oregon.
Harding's ex-husband, her bodyguard, and 2 men are charged with plotting the attack on Nancy Kerrigan. All of them are out on bail. Tonya herself says that she did not know a thing about the attack on Nancy Kerrigan.
Now for a check on some of the stories.
Also, the explosive charges from Harding's bodyguard, Shawn Eckhart, in his only television interview.
What did Tonya Harding know about the attack on Nancy Kerrigan?
She knew that it had been initiated. She knew that it was going to take place.
He says her divorced husband, Jeff Gillooly, gave the instructions.
Who decided which leg?
Jeff did, her landing leg.
Time. Now from Portland, Oregon, Diane Sawyer.
Good evening and welcome to the Clackamas Town Center. It's really a gigantic mall with a skating rink in the middle. And if you look out there amid all of the children and the lurching amateurs, you're going to see someone whose skating is a little bit different from the rest. That's Tonya Harding. This is where she practices. And she's going to come on over and talk with us later in prime time. But we begin tonight with the first television interview of a man you have seen almost every night on the news. The man who is now leveling charges directly at Tonya Harding in an affidavit released to the press and in talks with us tonight. We emphasize Harding's attorneys deny the allegations. The man's name is Shawn Eckhart. What do we know about him? That he lives at home with his parents, but insists he's worked around the world for espionage agencies. That he grew up with Harding's former husband, Jeff Gillooly. And that even people who know him say he's a very curious man.
The last time you saw him, he was in handcuffs, now out on bail. Shawn Eckhart, who has billed himself as bodyguard and international counterterrorism expert, now charged in the conspiracy to bring down figure skater Nancy Kerrigan. He says it all started when his lifelong friend, Jeff Gillooly, divorced husband of Tonya Harding, came to him.
He asked me if I could find him somebody, put him in touch with someone to ensure that Nancy Kerrigan didn't skate at the Nationals.
Eckhart says there was a meeting, which included Gillooly and 2 of Eckhart's friends, Derek Smith and Shane Stant.
Did someone say we should kill Nancy Kerrigan?
It wasn't phrased like that. Jeff used the term, he just said, well, why doesn't somebody take her out? And then I immediately came to the conclusion that it might have meant, you know, something that it possibly may or may not have been. And after he said that, you know, I just popped up real quick and said, no, we don't need to do that. You don't need to, you know, there's other things you can do to disable somebody rather than, you don't need to kill them. You know, and he said, well, what can you do to somebody's legs? And there were other, you know, other possibilities. And
so you all were tossing around the possibility of breaking a leg or? Yeah,
something, you know, I mean, there was different ideas sort of bounced around. And then it was sort of decided within the group that, you know, disabling her landing leg, you know, something that was not permanent, something that was recoverable.
And who decided which leg?
Jeff did, her landing leg.
Jeff said break her landing leg.
Yeah, the leg that she lands on.
Because that would ensure
But she couldn't skate.
Yeah, she wouldn't be able to skate.
Had it been discussed in that meeting what kind of instrument he would use?
During the meeting, he had mentioned the use of a collapsible baton, and Smith had made a comment that it was a new toy that Shane had gotten a hold of.
Some people on the other side have been saying you're the mastermind of this, that this was your idea, your way to get yourself a business of some kind.
No, that's incorrect. Jeff Gillooly approached me, and all he asked me to do was, give him the name of somebody who could help him.
Why didn't you say, what? Are you crazy? Not on your life.
I don't know.
Eckhart says the meeting broke up with a handshake between Gillooly and Smith and a plan to attack Kerrigan at her practice rink in Boston. Eckhart says he doesn't know why that attempt failed, but the hit team moved on to Detroit.
Was there talk at one time of an attack on Nancy Kerrigan in her room, in her hotel room?
Yeah, that's how, when Jeff decided to send them the money to allow Smith to go to Detroit, he wanted them to do what they agreed to do in her hotel room, and then leave her bound with duct tape or some other thing like that, so she wouldn't be found for a while.
So, what was in it for you? Money? What else?
He had also made, inferences to introductions to people like, her sponsors and some other influential people that they had associations with. And,
for what purpose? Why?
Contracts, work.
For security? For?
Yeah, protective services contracts, things like that.
In the end, Kerrigan was attacked as she was leaving the ice.
Tell me about Jeff Gillooly's reaction to what he had heard about Nancy Kerrigan.
He was pretty happy and pretty pleased with himself.
What did he say?
He thought it was great that, he could get anything done he wanted to. He started to have, from what the impression he gave me, I'm not sure how to explain it, sort of like a megalomaniacal power trip. That he, felt that he had this hit team at his disposal and he could do anything he wanted to.
But remember, Eckhart has a resume that makes him out to be a cross between James Bond and Oliver North. And before the attack on Kerrigan, he reportedly bragged about dangerous exploits, including the fact that he had hitmen.